Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Hankie Fest. So, I'm going to take a sip of water. We have it's not even a minute. Just realized I'm wearing gray. Coming to you from my living room. This is my gallery wall behind us. And the reason we're in the living room is because, for some reason, YouTube, yet again, has changed some of their formatting. So I was going to angle my phone down so that we could look at the hankies. They took away the go live feature from the phone, which I don't get because I don't think they did. I think that they kept wanting me to download something new, and I was like, I'm not downloading it. Whatever it is, I can live without it. So we're going to do it this way, which might work better because when I got the hankies and I started to dig through them, I found some things that were not hankies. So we'll talk about those absolutely first. And here is the first one. And for this, we need a wide shot. I'm not sure how well you guys can see this. This is pure silk. It is a beautiful light kind of lilac color. And this gold, I'm going to put it a little closer, is hand painted. You can feel that it is actually painted on. It's not part of the weave. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So quite honestly, for $5.99, which is what I spent on this bag of hankies, this scarf alone would have been worth more than $5.99. I had laryngitis this week, by the way, so you might hear my voice get a little funky here and there. It is much better, but it was bad this week. Also in there was this, which is absolutely handmade. You can see the whip stitching. I mean, it's a lovely little project. I'm assuming this was to teach embroidery. It is some kind of a little, I don't know what it is. It smells very old. You guys know what I mean. If you're into antiques, there's a certain smell to some things that are older. It's not a bad smell. It's just kind of an older smell. So there was that. And that was, I'm going to wash that up again. I did wash everything except for a couple of handkerchiefs. And here's one of them. This is absolutely, I think, rayon. And the reason I say it's rayon is it has a silky-like feel, but it's actually kind of, it's hard to explain. Silk has an actual drag on it. If you guys can see that, it's very hard. I just realized how hard it's going to be on the white stuff to see the detail. It's got lace detail. It has a certain kind of drag that real silk has, whereas things that are made to feel like silk don't have it. Here's another one that is also some type of a rayon. It's very dainty. Some of these handkerchiefs, and I don't really know how to date handkerchiefs. I'm not an expert, but some of them felt quite old. There were also some things like this. So I pulled this out. This was actually probably never used. It is a Christmas themed poinsettia. And it has, if you look on the corner, it has, I can't remember what this one says, but it's that. And then there was this one. This is some kind of linen. You can kind of feel it. Might be a linen blend though, because the lace feels very polyester. But this one has a tag on it, which I will show you, that says hand painted. It's quite pretty. I'm sure it's some type of a souvenir handkerchief, which makes me wonder how old it is, because I can't remember last time I saw a souvenir handkerchief anywhere. And then I was trying to steam these, and I put steam in my steam iron, and I got this one kind of dirty. So I ended up resorting to that iron that I bought. So this is also going to be washed. I don't know if you guys remember, but probably several episodes back at Goodwill, I had found a real iron, like an iron that was metal, not a bunch of plastic with just metal iron part. It was like most of it was metal. And I was so happy. And I picked that up, and I ended up using that. And it was like, but it's really heavy. And I know now why women used to take like 2 days to do laundry because they used to hand wash all the laundry, then they would iron all of it, and it took 2 days. It was like Monday, and then Tuesday was ironing day. Oh my god. So, all right, so in this, there were also some men's handkerchiefs. Well, first of all, there was this, which quite honestly is just, I mean, there's nothing to this. I almost thought it might be a napkin just because of look at the edges. The edges to me look more like you would do on a napkin. I might use it as a napkin. I haven't decided yet because it's completely plain. And then we had some men's handkerchiefs and they had this embroidery and they're just a basic, right? Remember when men had handkerchiefs? I remember you used to see them in boxes and they would be like gift boxes. You would give people hankies and then there were just two more of them. These feel like they were never used. Everything, even though some of them really do feel like they were never used, they still were a little bit dirty. I did wash everything and I hung everything out. I didn't get a lot of the stains out, so you will see some staining on these. I'm gonna get some retro wash from Amazon and I am going to see if I can get rid of some of the stains with the retro wash. No, you're not going outside. My dog's freaking out because there's another dog outside. So let's start with the cuteness, right? Is that the most adorable thing? My favorite is that the dog on the handkerchief is apparently playing Cowboys and Indians, and this dog is getting ready to play baseball. So yeah, these were children's handkerchiefs, which were a thing back in the day. You know, just like you didn't carry little things of Kleenex in your purse, your kid didn't either. So you had kids' handkerchiefs. This was the one and only round handkerchief that I found. It is incredibly beautiful, as you can see. I may keep this one simply because I was thinking it would be very nice to just put on a tabletop underneath a vase. And I have so many things in this really beautiful McCoy ware kind of mid-century green. And then we had stuff like this. This might also be another child's one. It's very small. It's just a yellow handkerchief. There's not much detail to it. It's not going to, it looks like it's not going to show up well because there's not a lot of detail. And then there was another one that was like its brother that's an even lighter yellow. Same thing, not a lot of detail. Probably children's handkerchiefs because they're so much smaller, even though a lot of the handkerchiefs I found were quite small. You know, some handkerchiefs were very dainty. So here's one. Hopefully we can see the detail on that. It's very hard with the white ones because it's white on white on white. This is a scalloped edge one. And then it has a smaller flower embroidered right there. What I wanted to do was show these to you on a dark surface, but I don't know. I don't know what YouTube's doing. I don't know, you know, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. I used to just be able to flip my camera with the tripod and then just film downward onto something. Kept wanting me to download something new. And I'm like, why? Why do I need to download something? This is linen. There was a lot of linen, which was something that you saw a lot of. This is just plain. It's just this detail right there, but beautiful, right? And the linen is amazing. It's funny, a lot of the linen was the stuff that was still stained. And then there's this one. This one feels very modern. It has a very polyester kind of feel to it. Can you see how thin it is? It's got a scalloped edge. Well, not a scalloped edge. It's got a scalloped detail, but a regular straight edge. But it has almost like an organza feel, like a polyester organza. It was kind of interesting. And then there were so many of these that I believe started out as regular plain old handkerchiefs like this one. Like this is a plain white handkerchief. There's nothing going on here. It's got a little bit of a border detail, but then I think someone hand embroidered this. Could be wrong. Could have been bought, you know, already embroidered. Here's another one. Scalloped edge. Let me flip the flower over for you. Just like the yellow rose of Texas. That's it. It's just this. The rest of it is just a plain hanky. They are incredibly beautiful, though, to think about something that was so utilitarian, that is so beautiful. It's it's amazing. Like people just, everybody just had one of these and just walked around with them. Like, what do you got? Oh, I just got the yellow rose of Texas in my pocket in case I have to blow my nose into it. Like, it's amazing when you think about it, right? All right, so this I believe is probably a souvenir. I cannot tell if it, to me, this looks vaguely Korean, but could also be Mexican. And I can't decide which it is. It kind of looks Korean to me. If you've ever seen traditional Korean dress, it's very much like this. Um, and I don't know, I guess they're playing on a seesaw. I don't know. This is a little linen hanky. I think it was probably a souvenir. It's quite nice. Oh, and then we'll get to more of these later, but here's the first one. So holiday themed hankies. So I think this is probably a men's handkerchief, not a woman's. And it is just all this. And then we have bells and poinsettias. And they're just on just a plain old handkerchief. And the bells are on the back. But interesting. I guess, at Christmas time, went all crazy. This was really beautiful. It's front and back. It's actually not front and back. It's all four corners are the same pattern. And again, just so pretty for something to blow your nose into or smudge your lipstick. Oh, okay. So this is the first in a series. There are several in here that I think are from the 20s or 30s because they have very deco-inspired design. This one, the design, not so much, but this over here, these lines and this is all very deco. This one's kind of plain. It does have a little bit more detail here, some little embroidery in the corner. But, just basic white. And then there was this. This was so pretty. Just a pink floral. Has a little bit of scalloping on this side only. The rest of it is squared off. And you can see in the corners, there's just another. They repeat the floral design. Same on the back. They repeat the floral design twice. Oh, and there was, okay. Several of these I think are really old, including this one. It's so delicate. And look at the work. See this here? This is called, it's called a faggot stitch. Yes, it's called a faggot stitch. I know that this type of stuff was very popular at the turn of the century. I can see the mistakes in this. So I think, like you can see, there's a mistake over here in the, where was it? Somewhere I saw a mistake in the lace where they didn't quite sew the lace correctly. And so I think that someone made this. Here it is, the way she sewed the lace together. Can you see how it's sticking up over here? I think this is a handmade piece and so beautiful and so delicate. And I know I can't get that. I don't know how well you guys can really see this embroidery, but so delicate. I think that maybe there are several in here that I think are quite old, like possibly turn of the century or around that era. And these, it's just the same repeating pattern. I don't know what type of flower that is. This seems a little bit more modern. This one, unfortunately, so sad. See how cute that is? Look at that stain. Oh, I don't know what it is. I couldn't get it off. This is just a little hanky. It's scalloped edge. It's a smaller one. It's hard to figure out what the difference was between the hankies. Some are quite large and some are a lot smaller. This is another one I think is pretty old. If you can see the discoloration in the fabric a little bit, but it's just a basic handkerchief. And then they added this piece down here, this piece of lace and this embroidery to it. It's another one I think might be fairly old. This one's definitely old. Can you see this? You can see how tattered it actually is. And I mean, I can see the screen through this. That's how thin it is. And look at that beautiful lace. Probably hand done, has a horrible stain on it. Again, I'm going to have to see if I can get the retro clean to get it out. This one feels a little bit more modern. It's really cute though. I hope you guys can see these. And I have to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do with these because I was looking online and boy, the prices of these are all over the place. You can buy like 100 of these for like $10, or you can buy an individual linen vintage hanky for 20. And I don't know what, so I don't know how to price these. Here's another one I think is very old. This one has seen better days. You can see, first of all, you can see how uneven it is. Can you see how uneven everything is on it? Again, you can see the lace down here. It's a little screwed up. They didn't quite do the seams. So I think this is handmade. It's got a small cigarette burn in it, little hole right there that's a cigarette burn. And it's got some stains. I mean, look at that. Look at that stain right there. So, yeah, I'm going to have to, hopefully the retro wash can get some of these out. And, you know, if not, whoever buys them may just have to live with them because they are quite beautiful. This is more modern. And I think this is, again, just a regular old plain hanky that someone did all of this crochet work to and then added to it. You will see I have many, many of these hankies that have this crochet detail added to them, both plain and some of them are floral, some of them are solid colors. You will see coming up. Another one I think is old. I can see like, you can see the damage to them, but they're amazing. And I can see why the one company that I saw that was selling the expensive ones, they seem to be like a bridal company. So they're selling them to brides, I guess, for something old. This is funny because the cloth in the middle feels old. Feels like heavily washed cotton batiste. But then this lace is absolutely polyester lace. If you've ever worked with lace and you've felt cotton or silk lace and then felt polyester, you can totally feel the difference. This is like scratchy. I don't know how else to describe it. Scratchy, not a technical term. And then there's this one, very big, has a stain back here. This is another one that is scalloped only on the edge here, and then the rest of it is just straight. And then here's another one. This one I do think is a little bit older. And this is linen. You can feel it. The linen feels amazing. I mean, I get why people love linen. It really, and here's a stain on it, unfortunately. But someone hand crocheted that portion. Oh, and then this. Look how beautiful this is. Let's see if we can get. Isn't that gorgeous? And this was probably also handmade. And then it's got all of this detail all around the edges. And then we circle back to that. That's very pretty. So pretty. And I know that people used to give hankies as gifts. So I'm assuming that some of those were, regular hankies. And then you did the kind of customizing as gifts. So as promised, we've got a lot of this. And this is one of the tame ones. We got some crazy stuff in here. We got some crazy, crazy crocheted yarn coming up. You'll see. And that's not even the printed ones. Wait till you see how beautiful the printed hankies are. Like these hankies are boring on comparison to the printed ones. This is another one you can see. See, like they cut the edge off to do that. Very custom. I'm sure these were gifts. I don't know what this is, but it was so Halloween looking. Isn't that cool? And it's on both sides. And it's some kind of, I don't know, witch's hat, maybe. Halloween, kerchief, handkerchief. And again with the crazy colors. See, the thing is, I don't think this kind of stuff came out until like the 70s, maybe the 60s. So like, when was this made? Like, was this made in the 70s or the 60s? Were someone still, I don't know, giving custom hankies out? I don't know. Oh, all right. So this one might be also very old because let me show you this. How beautiful that is that. And it's kind of hand embroidered. You can see if you look on the back, you can see kind of like the back. And it's just it's a plain hanky. But then they did all this detail again. So pretty. So pretty. And this one. This is another one. This lace feels very like 1970s polyester. Does not feel like old lace. And I don't know how to date hankies. For all I know, this thing's like an antique, right? And then this one is just so extra. It's got this, and then it's got the embroidery, and it's just the one portion that's embroidered. The rest of it's plain, but very beautiful, very extra, very, very extra. And this, where they actually crocheted like around the edge and did all that work. It's a lot of work. Very beautiful. That one's also linen. Okay, so this is one, and the detail is going to be impossible to get. I think this is really old. I don't know if you guys can see that detail. Let me see if we can do this so you can see kind of the reverse of it. Can you see how beautiful this is? And they're like shamrocks. It's also, this one has a bit of damage. There's the hole right there. I think this one might be fairly old. And look how, can you see how thin the fabric is? I mean, I can see the screen of the computer. It's so beautiful, right? Really, really beautiful. Another common hanky with just the lace added to it. I realized I should have done this with the other ones that had the lace on the end, but hopefully you guys could see it. This is another one that I absolutely think might be from the 20s or 30s, again, because of this deco kind of design here. I mean, it's beautiful. It's hand embroidered. It's just that tip there. And then on the other sides, it's just these tiny, tiny, tiny little flowers, but so gorgeous. So absolutely beautiful. You have no idea how hard it is for me to not like keep all these. Again, little extra. This is linen. And then they did all that crochet work. So pretty. It's just plain in the back. And the screen doesn't do it justice. This is like a beautiful, like, what would I call that? Like a goldenrod kind of yellow. Yeah. Here's another one I think this is weird. This one, I feel like the original hanky is from like 20s or 30s because of the embroidery. But the yarn again is that yarn where as you crochet with it, it's mixed colors. And I didn't think that was something till like the late 60s, early 70s. So I'm very confused by that. And then we have just a basic linen hanky. It's just white, but it has the beautiful crochet detail. Whoever this person was, she really enjoyed this yarn. That's the multicolored yarn. Another linen hanky. So I was using with my dog, who ignored me all day, is now staring at me because the neighbor's dog went out. Oh, another really beautiful one. Like, oh, just look at how delicate that is. I mean, the time that goes into doing that and then crocheting around it. This is also linen. Most of these were either cotton or linen. I didn't find too much that wasn't some type of a natural fiber. I think this is my mother's. I did throw in a couple of hankies I had because I thought, if I'm going to start selling them, I should, throw in the ones that I have. I never did anything with them. I kept saying I was going to do some kind of crafting with them. I never did. I looked up a bunch of the different crafts that you can do with hankies, and the one that I really liked was making pin cushions, but a lot of them, that's for the smaller hankies. The larger hankies, I did see a woman that had made a quilt, and she did, I believe the quilt pattern is called Flower Basket, and she had made the basket part was all made out of vintage hankies. She had folded them kind of like this, and then the other, like the handle for the flower basket was just regular quilting, and then all around it, each of them was a patch. So it was just quilted around it, and then only the hanky was used to make the basket. It's quite beautiful. So we had a couple hankies with names, including Sandra. Sandra, I have your hanky. If you've been looking for it for the last 50 years, I have it now. So this, again, I think somebody hand did this because it's just a basic handkerchief, but there's Sandra's name. Make sure that Sandra, all right, can you see Sandra? And then right after finding Sandra, I found the S handkerchief. Really beautiful detail though. Look at the detail, how beautiful the actual handkerchief is, with, I'm assuming it's Sandra's. And then again, more Sandra. I think I have all of Sandra's hankies. And this was really pretty. It's kind of like the lace is kind of cut out and then embroidered. It's very, very pretty. And then, as if we were getting tired of Sandra, I found the hanky that belongs to, that's right, Bertha. I don't know if I can actually get rid of this because I feel like Bertha the bus driver, or my bus's name should be Bertha. I don't know, but it's just so lovely. And this is interesting. This must have taken forever to embroider. It's the tiniest little stitches, and it's the name. Well, I guess when you have no television, no radio, you sit and you embroider your name Bertha onto your hankies. Oh, and last but not least, Girl Scouts. This one I'm thinking about trying to make into a pincushion because I have this same thing in a the badge, the little badge. I had gotten the little not badge, pin. I had gotten it in a pattern haul. Like it was shoved in with notions in like a sewing box. And I was like, all right, cool. All right, now on to the good stuff. Do you see? Can you see how colorful this is? Yeah. These are gorgeous. All right. So first one. How pretty is that? And I think it's homemade because see this here? There's a sewing mistake. She didn't sew it. She sewed through it. She should have flipped it up and she sewed through it. She, he. I assume it's a she. And it does have something on it right here, which actually I'll be able to see better when I rewatch this because I cannot read that. That is way too small. And oh, this was interesting. I found these two, right? So beautiful border pattern, right? And then they have a little bit of it is like in the middle in a circle. So this is the one that is, I guess, is considered the blue one. And then here is its counterpart, which is the red one. And I'm assuming these were sold in some kind of a set. You can see they have some damage on them. They feel like linen blend. I wouldn't say 100% linen, but they feel like linen. And then I thought this one might actually be related to them, but I'm not sure. This one's, the design is a little bit different. Instead of being a circle, it's just the repeating pattern in the middle instead of being a circle. And it's not quite the same flowers. These aren't, well, I guess there's some roses, but these are more wildflowers and less roses. So, wait, hold on, wait for this. Okay. Right? To blow your nose. How beautiful is that? And it is just absolutely like the most whisper of a fabric. It's so light. That's one thing about all of these. I mean, I know they're old and used. They're so soft. I mean, honestly, they're better than tissues in that respect. I thought this was just lovely. It's just the same repeating pattern. I'm wondering if this was originally just the plain handkerchief and this was added later. So pretty. I love the colors in this one. Oh, and then there's this. All right. And look at the floral bouquet in the corner. Gorgeous, huh? So pretty. Just, some old thing to blow your nose in. Amazing. They're so beautiful. These are going to be the ones that are the hardest for me to get rid of because they are just so absolutely gorgeous. But I don't know what to do with them. I can't imagine actually using them to blow my nose because they're too pretty. But yeah. And here's another one. This is very similar to the other one. In fact, these two might be, yeah, these might have been a set, right? This one that we already saw. And then here's the compatriot. And it's the same thing. It's just the repeating pattern, but in different colors. And again, somebody add this edging. Maybe I'll sell them in sets. And here's this one. This is linen. I can feel the linen. You can really feel the linen in the linen ones. It's just, they're literally heavier, physically heavier. Huh. All right. Oh, that's just this one. I love that they repeat the patterns in the middle. I'm trying to see which one is so gorgeous. So I did see, trying to think of some of the other crafts I saw. Oh, by the way, there's a bunch of this stuff. Remember, we already saw the Santa. And I already showed you the ones that were, hand painted. I got to believe these are later, like maybe 50s or 60s. And then there was this one that's all cut out. It's lovely. I don't know why this has a very German feel to me. It really reminds me of some dirndl type stuff I've seen. These hearts, especially because the little flowers. But it's not Edelweiss. They're just little red flowers. Well, I don't know. This could be Edelweiss, right? Anybody who knows about like Pennsylvania Dutch or German culture, you know that like you see this little white flower everywhere and it's Edelweiss. And it's in like every little nook and cranny. Like it's always like on a button or you'll see it like just in the design of something like a trivet for your kitchen. It's just everywhere. All right, so here's another set that I think originally were paired together. So here's the first one. And can you see that kind of gray? See this here, this detail that's around the edges? We have this one, and then we have, and this seems to be the same dye batch also. Like the purples are exactly the same. And see, there it is again, that kind of gray relief kind of pattern around the sides. So I'm assuming these were sold in sets. I mean, I know they were. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when you could still buy handkerchiefs and they would come in a box and they'd be rolled and it would be like anywhere from 2 to like 5, depending on price and everything else. And this one, oh, before we look at this one. So that's, I mean, right? How pretty is that? And then when you open it up, you have the repeating pattern. And here's the pattern up here again. This to me actually looks kind of bridal, doesn't it? Because this up here kind of looks like a bouquet. Just really beautiful. Here's another one with this pattern here. Again, kind of bridal. Kind of looks like a bouquet, right? And then the center of it is completely green. Very pretty though. Very, very pretty. This has a very 1940s feel to me. And then we have this one. This one, it's the same pattern over and over again on each corner. And then you can see it's kind of not scalloped, but it's like a cutout. They like cut out around the design. A little more that crochet. We love that crochet, don't we? It's blue rose, and then it's got these lovely little flowers in between. So another craft I did see was people turning these into, you can put fishing weights on them. This one's crazy because it's just solid, but look at the detail on that edging. Look at that detail. Like this one's a perfect example. You put like a little fishing weight, a little lead fishing weight, and then you use this to like cover like a bowl in the summer when you don't want the flies, the mosquitoes, whatever getting on your lemonade, your potato salad, your macaroni salad, whatever. And I thought, well, that's actually not a bad thing to do with these, especially some of these that have these really vivid, beautiful floral patterns. They're perfect for that. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I also saw people making them into like I'll fold one up to give you an example. This one would work. These bigger ones, people take them. Let me fold it real quick, and they create kind of an envelope, and it is for your sandwich, and you can wax them. And this isn't a very good one, but it's like this thing like this, and then they wax it, and they wax the fabric before they fold it up, and you use it for your sandwich. And I was like, that's not bad actually. That's like a nice little upcycle for these. You know, because I can't be the only person that's finding these for $5.99 for a big bag. You know, this one, I think this one might be related to one of the other ones that we saw earlier. Look at it. Look at that pattern though. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And I don't know if you guys can see it. There's also kind of a crosshatch pattern in there. And look at how vivid the flowers are though. So gorgeous. In fact, yeah, I think that other one we looked at might be related. Where'd it go? Of course, I can't find it. But there was one in here that seemed really similar that I can't find, but it seemed like they might be related. Oh, okay. This one is so wild because when I opened it up, at first I thought that it had run, but it didn't. It's supposed to be like that. Can you see how the gray gradually turns into white? It's like a gradient from gray to white, and so beautiful. Look at those flowers and the colors. I'm sure my camera's not going to do it justice. These are the most beautiful turquoise and like that pink orange color, that lovely like deep salmon kind of color. And then just so pretty. I also thought if I was more of a doily chick, these would be great just to use all over the house under everything. Like I said, I think I'm only going to keep the round one to put under a vase. Oh, here's our second set of holiday inspired hearts, hearts, hearts. Really pretty though. You see how cute the hearts are, and the little floral bouquets. And then here's the poinsettia, and if you look at it, the poinsettias have all been kind of cut out. Very cool, very festive. And then there's little white flowers in between. Oh, and there was this. Okay, this one's so interesting. I think this might be a men's pocket square. Even though it's slightly on the feminine side, it doesn't fold into a square, but it does fold perfectly into a triangle. Like I noticed when I was ironing it, it was uneven. Like it didn't want to fold into a normal handkerchief. But if you put it like this, then it becomes a men's pocket square. So I think that might be what it is. And just more beautiful Just more beautiful. Look at that center detail. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the roses. And look at this little lily of the valley. So beautiful. And I can unfortunately tell that these were used. You can really feel like some of them almost have a threadbare quality, and they all of them have a stain or two. So hopefully the retro wash will work, because I would like to save as many of these as I possibly can. Of course, I would never throw them away anyway. I'd keep them. I'd figure out something to do with them. Even if I cut them up and made them into pin cushions, I would do something with them. Here's another one. Feels a little more modern. And it's because the top stitching around the edges is obviously machine done. You can see it's all serged. But, more yellow roses. More yellow rose of Texas. Oh, and another. Just the detail of all the flowers. I'm telling you. Punch bowls and hankies. And you can see the damage in this one. Can you see? It's hole there, hole there. So, they were well used and well loved by whoever owned them before. Oh, okay. Again, I'm thinking this is from the 19. There's two of these in here. I think there's the other ones in here next. Yeah, that I think are from the 1930s or 1940s, purely based on the dyes, the colors, because these were colors that were so popular in the late 30s, early 40s. And actually, these burgundy colors were really popular well into like the early 50s. And it's just a really beautiful hanky. And I love this design, how it's one up here and then it drops down, and there's one down here. I think that's really gorgeous. Another yellow rose, and I think these two must be sisters, because of that same machine, the machine finishing, the machine serging. See what I mean? Around the edges. Nobody would be able to do that. That's got to be done by a machine. It's too much. Oh, just another little lovely. Just another little lovely. It's absolutely beautiful. Same pattern on the back. Just, I don't know what they are. There's little flowers. Here's the other one that I think might also be from the 40s or 50s. I mean, not 40s, the 30s or 40s. Again, because of the colors. And you can see there's a hole right there, which is a shame. But they're still lovely. I still think they're absolutely beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous. But let's face it, none of these are ugly. We haven't had an ugly one yet. And then this, it looks like they're daisies and then peonies and then roses, or maybe not, because these are definitely like a Gerber daisy. But these, I don't know. I don't know what those are. But just, just pretty flowers. And another. This one has a beautiful piece in the middle. Lilies of the Valley. It's a bouquet. Gorge, just gorge. This one, I'm going to guess, is from the 30s, and I'm going to guess this is a man's handkerchief. Scotty dogs and Airedales, for some unknown reason, were huge in figurines and everything else in the 30s and the 20s. And I think this was a man's, may have also been like a pocket square. Let's see how it folds up. Yeah. Very dapper, right? And very deco. And our very last one, that's linen. And you can feel it. It is so pretty. And when you open it up, it has this absolutely gorgeous motif at the bottom and then goes into nothing at the top. So pretty. So that is it for me. That is all the hankies. I'm so glad that my voice made it, because most of this week I did not have a voice. And that was fun because I had to get one of the new bus drivers that's still kind of in training to come onto the bus with me so someone could scream at the kids when I needed to scream at the kids because they're getting really itchy because it's the end of the year and they're all losing their little tiny minds because they want to get out of school, and so are the big kids actually. Now today, and it's not too late because it's not even 3 o'clock yet. Goodwill, if you were on their, I don't know, their call list, I don't know what it is. They send you a text and you can get 20% off your purchase today. Okay. They don't send you a barcode, so I can't share a barcode with you. They just send you a text and you show it to the girl at the register and she takes 20% off. It's the weirdest thing. But so I went today, which means I probably won't be doing Goodwill Tuesday. Now I did get some stuff, and believe it or not, I got patterns because I found more of the patterns that were with that original lot of patterns that I had bought that I said I overspent on and shouldn't have bought it. They were now half price because the tag had changed. Plus, I got an additional 20% off them. So instead of getting them for, I think they were $12.99. And so I got them for like $5.49 with the 20% discount after they were half off. So I got more patterns. I didn't get a lot. I think I got a total of 8 or 9. I did pick up some fabric and some other stuff. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow for Goodwill Tuesday, I'll do my little setup so you guys can see what I got. And next week, I'll show you the actual patterns because I think all but 3 of them were craft and children's patterns. So they're not going anywhere because we know I don't go through them that quick. So anyway, until next week, I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a great Memorial Day. I myself went to a party yesterday, going to my sister's this afternoon for a barbecue. I hope everyone's having a good time. I hope the weather's good where you are. I hope that your barbecue grill does not run out of propane. I don't know what the greeting is for Memorial Day. I do know it's a day of remembrance, and we need to remember all those people that gave their lives for our freedom. And until next week, like, subscribe, comment, let me know which hanky you thought was just gorgeous, which I know is a very tough call because they were all gorgeous. And until then, I hope you're doing great. I hope you have a great week and stay well. I'll see you next time. Bye.